Okay, yesterday evening I installed Apple's new Mountain Lion Golden Master. It is very similar to the Mountain Lion, but there are some changes which integrate the program more with the iCloud service and also tend to make it a little bit more like a gated community, a closed-in ecosystem. Now, I tend to launch my programs with the Alfred launcher. Um, let's take a look at some of the things that were left from the last version, which is Launchpad. Not something that I particularly use, but this time, as you can see, you can make various folders on it, like you would on an iPad or iPhone or iPod Touch. The dock is still here, which is, of course, very useful. Wonderful thing is you have messages, which was already available in beta, but now it connects with AIM and also your Bonjour account, which is very, very useful. What else do we have? We have reminders, which syncs with reminders on your iPhone or your iPod Touch or your iPad, and the Notes program, which does the same. One thing I did notice that I had some notes that were in Apple Mail before, and those notes somehow disappeared. So I was not happy with that at all. Though actually I don't use Apple Mail. I use a program called Postbox, which is built on the architecture of Thunderbird, which was the Mozilla open source mail program, which Mozilla is no longer supporting, so I'm not sure what the future is. But this is the mail program. It looks virtually the same, except the notes section is not here. Again, I don't use it. I greatly prefer Postbox. And these are just messages that I keep. I block outgoing connections to my computer as a security service with a program called Little Snitch, and you can see this is the program I use. Other than that, there are really not that many changes. One of the changes, though, is the way it deals with programs that are installed on your system. You can allow applications to be downloaded from only the Mac Store, the Mac App Store, and identified developers. These are developers that Apple recognizes as legitimate Apple developers. And this gives it more of what I meant by that gated community feel. So if you put it from, say, the Mac App Store, it'll only download programs from the App Store. The App Store and other developers that Apple recognizes and improves, then you can do that. I like to have freedom to allow it from anywhere. Choosing anywhere makes your Mac less secure. Instead, you can allow an individual application from an unknown developer by control-clicking its icon and selecting Open. I've never had a problem with that. I'm a geek. I will do it. The file vault is still there if you want to encrypt your hard drive. There's a firewall there, which does similar things, blocks incoming connections, and you can turn that on if you want to. Okay. The dock is still here. It's fairly populated. One program that doesn't work is Fantastical. Those of you who like Fantastical, which was a great add-on. And one of the reasons I suspect is because you have a notification section now on the right-hand side, which gives you a calendar, and you can add other notifications to it. You see I can click to tweet if I wanted to. And then again, it's asking me for permission, and I will grant it forever. One other thing I'd like to show you in here is you have to be careful with iCloud, because all of your data now is stored with iCloud. So make sure everything in calendars, reminders, everything is stored with iCloud. Find My Mac is still here. But you want everything to be carefully done there, because otherwise you don't want to lose any information. And I found an issue with address book, so I had to make sure it was on my Mac or not. And you can get notifications, calendars, and you can set the type of notification, a banner or alert, mail, messages, reminders, anything in Safari, Twitter, and that's kind of cool. Banners appear at the upper right hand corner and go away automatically. Alerts stay on the screen until dismissal. So alerts are kind of a little bit more how should I put it, a little bit safer. The preferences stays basically the same. Software update is different. You can download, automatically check for updates. That was there before. Download newly available updates in the background, which is different. And install system and data files and security updates. That was started yesterday. And you can see it is already checked today. But what's interesting is, if you go into the old update screen, those of you familiar with earlier editions of OX10, you go into the update screen, and instead of getting the Mac update, it takes you to the App Store. Yes, this is the App Store, where it shows your purchased applications, your categories, etc. So they have combined the App Store with the update. And just to show you again, to make sure everybody caught this, if you hit software update, you go to the App Store. And if you hit the App Store, you go to the App Store. So these two buttons are redundant, and I assume that Apple put them there as a way of familiarizing people with what they were doing, what the new setup is. And once again, you can see this is version 10.8, and the software update button is still there. I'm running a 2.6 gigahertz Core i7 quad core, 8 gig of memory, and that's basically the information. 10.8. Now it's just called OX10. It's not called, you don't see anywhere Lion or Mountain Lion anywhere. It's just OX10. So this has been a preview of the Golden Master, which is usually the last developer's build of the OX10 Mountain Lion operating system. Within 2 weeks, this should be the build that is released to consumers. Not a lot of differences, greater integration with iCloud, and we're moving more into a gated community, with some geek users or some very sophisticated users might not like that much, but the average consumer, I think, who is concerned about viruses and malware, I think will find it very useful. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the changes in Safari 6. The Omnibar that we found introduced in Google Chrome, and you could add on to with an add-on to Safari, is now standard. So you can search anything that you want right from the bar, just like the old like Chrome, which is wonderful. I used the add-on to do this, which I had to actually remove. Perfect. And you can set it to Google or Bing, whatever service that you want. There's also add to reading list automatically, add a bookmark. You can send a message directly from your email. You can send an iMessage with an article on it, or you can tweet right from Safari. So again, it's becoming more and more like iOS. If I find any other interesting changes, I will report them.